Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. We have a fun video for you today. We are making over our guest bedroom. We've had a few people stay with us, and so it serves its purpose, but we just wanted to spruce it up and make it feel more homey, and so we decided to add an accent wall. We've done different wood accents around the house, and we just absolutely love how it elevates the space, and so that's what we decided to do here. We've done wainscoting as well as board and batten. So for this space, we wanted to have a little bit more fun, and so we went with a different design, which you will see here in a bit. The first step was to measure the wall. Obviously, we needed the dimensions so that we could map out the plan for the wall as well as knowing how much material to purchase. So here you can see my husband mapping out the plan. He did a bunch of math and calculations. Definitely not my strong suit, but obviously you can look up different designs that can work for your specific space. So our first stop was Home Depot to get the wood. We went to the molding aisle to check out the different options, and we ultimately landed on this one. We felt that it was the best size for the design that we were going for, and just if you're curious, here is the information on that. We ended up taking, I want to say, 20 of those. Again, my husband did the math, so it ended up being perfect for what we needed. The next step was Sherwin-Williams for some paint. I knew I wanted to do something like in the green family. If you've seen my other videos, you know that our house is very white, and so I wanted to play with some color in this room, and we ended up going with Evergreen Fog, and I think it was the perfect choice. So at this point, my husband went down to the garage to mark all of the wood pieces so that he could just cut them all at once. Please excuse our mess. We have cleaned this garage so many times, it's kind of ridiculous, but you know, as time goes on, you kind of leave stuff around and it gets back to that. But hey, maybe that'll be an opportunity for another video to clean up the garage. It was time to nail the wood to the wall. I would say that the first rectangle is probably the hardest, or not necessarily hardest, but just the most time consuming, just because you want to get it just right. It's basically the starting point of the whole design, and everything else is going to build off of that, and so you want to make sure that it's nice and straight and that the measurements are exact. So you can see that he cut a piece of wood the exact size we needed for the spacing between the rectangles, and I think that that was super helpful. It not only ensures that all the rectangles have the same exact space between them, but I think also helps make them nice and straight. Like I said, we've done different accent walls around the house before, and we've actually either gotten the texture of the wall smoothed out, or we've put a board behind it to give off that smooth texture. For this bedroom, we decided to just forego that step, and I think it still looks really great. So if you're thinking of doing this, you don't necessarily have to go through that step of smoothing out the texture of the wall. It can still look really good, and I think because the color is darker, it almost is unnoticeable. Here is how it turned out. I think it looks really great. I think the long rectangles really help elevate the eye, and so it gives the illusion of almost a taller or bigger room. And because the room is so small, I think those little tricks can help make a big difference. The next step was to prep the wall for paint. So we are just filling in all of the holes from the nails, and then I am taping off the edges to try to get a crisp line. I'm not gonna lie, it was not perfect and the paint did bleed through just a little bit, but those are things that obviously can be easily fixed with some touch-up paint at the end. You'll notice at the end we did not technically finish the entire wall. We did not finish the edges. We were doing this late at night, and so at this point we were kind of tired, so we definitely have to go back and finish that, but I think for now it does the job. And just a tip, you should use baby wipes or wet wipes when you are smoothing out the caulking, especially because we ended up getting wood pieces that were unfinished. You don't want to be sliding your finger across raw wood and get splinters, so that is a little tip for you there. After that, it was time to get painting. As you can see, my husband is using the roller on the bigger spaces, and then I went in with a brush into those small gaps that the roller obviously couldn't get into, and so that helped the process go by a little bit faster. We let it dry just a little bit and then went in with that second coat, but again, we left the edges a little bit undone, and so we'll get to that eventually. Here is the finished product. I absolutely love it. I think the color was a perfect choice. I love the design, and it just totally made the room feel completely different. Next was a stop at Target. I wanted to buy a couple accent pieces, bedding, stuff like that to help just tie it all together. I loved these knitted blankets from Casa Luna. They have so many options. I was debating on different colors, but ultimately went with the neutral. I just felt like the neutral would go with anything. And here you can see we got a headboard. We got this headboard off of Facebook Marketplace. Definitely recommend checking sites like that. We didn't want to spend a ton of money for this, obviously, for the guest room, and so this was a perfect choice. And we wanted to go with something lighter since the wall was darker, and we wanted that to be the main focal point. Also, hanging up curtains, I feel like totally helps a space feel so much different. We put up curtains in the living room, and that made such a difference. It's crazy. So I went with a light color. I wanted them to be a little bit more cream. They looked a little bit more creamy in the store, but they look more white here in the bedroom, but I still think they look good and just keep the space light and bright. For the bedding, you can see I just went with white. I just feel like white is a classic, and again, doesn't take away the focus from the accent wall and that really beautiful evergreen fog color. I did want to add just a little bit of color, so I did that with the throw pillows. I feel like it kind of helps give it that more moody vibe, and I really like just the subtle touches of color here, and I feel like this knitted blanket just totally brings the whole space together. Here is one last look at before, and here is the after. I absolutely love it. I think it turned out so nice. I added a little accent table and just little accents with the greenery on the side, and I think it just all came together super nicely. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and as always, thank you so much for watching.